Hello, I'm Bob Butera, Director of the Yoga Life Institute, author of the new book, Meditation for Your Life. In the introduction video, I talked about how this book was inspired by individual yoga training that allowed me to learn meditation around my needs or the student's needs, as opposed to following a specific program. And I've encouraged folks to find a program that suits them first, using Meditation for Your Life as a gateway into following one of the wonderful programs that exists in our society today. We have so many wonderful meditation groups. There's great resources that's really expanded in the past 10 years. I'd like to talk to you about a second point that is stressed in yoga when we're trying to quiet the mind. A lot of people may think that yoga is only about the yoga asanas or the yoga positions that we hear about so much and that we know are so wonderful for our physical fitness. Well, the meditation poses are technically were invented so that the body would maintain a certain vigor and health, so that we would have a strong basis for quieting the mind in meditative practices. Kind of like a rocket has a booster. The body and the mind being in a quiet frame is like the booster rocket for the next phase of the journey, which would be this meditation practice where the mind is focused on one thought. Now, in preparing yourself for meditation, there's some very key points. Now, you certainly can meditate each day, and that will be helpful. But what I want to talk about are two things. One is what you're thinking and how you're allowing your nervous system to operate during the day when you're not meditating. Obviously, if you're jumping around and allowing every single thing to bother you and distract you, your mind's brain waves will start to move very rapidly. In that circumstance, if you can learn how to accept life situations, find a certain stillness throughout your day, your brain waves will be much quieter. Then when you sit down to meditate, you'll feel more ease. There'll be less effort in getting into a meditative state. And quite frankly, you might be more likely to even meditate. When you're feeling really stressed and the mind is extremely disturbed, meditation itself may feel as if it's too far away from you, or as if it would be too challenging. And then what can happen during a stressful period in your life when you need meditation the most, you'll tend to veer away from it because it's literally too hard. So what I want to recommend, and this is we spend a whole group of chapters. We teach a course on this same point, that you want to look at how you're thinking during the day, how you're breathing, how you're conducting yourself with your body. Whether you choose to do some yoga poses or other exercise, you want to be doing something that helps your body. Allowing the breath to be deep. There's also things you can do with your eyes, your ears, where you soften your eyes. There's some information in the book for using the eyes to maintain a more balanced nervous system. How you listen, both how you deal with annoying sounds, and also how you listen to others without thinking of what you're going to say next, so that you feel more quiet, more centered, and more focused. On the second point that I wanted to mention is, when I was discussing the feeling stressed, which happens to all of us, we can get very busy, our mind can get a little agitated, things unexpected will occur. On days like that, you want to once again think like the yogi would. Think about being your own mentor and asking yourself, what do I really need today to quiet my mind? It's not always going to be a seated meditation practice. You may first find that a short walk is really helpful. Some people like to jog as another form of slowing things down and quieting. Other people like to read. They'll often read a spiritual book. That helps bring them back in touch with themselves. Even playing with your kids or doing some other activity, cooking, cleaning, anything that's somewhat repetitive that will bring you down. If you do that activity on a day when you're feeling really stressed, you won't feel bad about yourself, because if you sit straight down to meditate, you may feel somewhat agitated in the meditation and you'll wonder, why am I even sitting there? Which then leads to other upset feelings or self-deprecating feelings that will cause you to avoid the meditation altogether. So once again, the message is to work on your mind during the day to keep yourself as centered as possible. And the second message is to do the practice that suits you, or at least do some warm-up practices before you meditate. So we're again trying to give you some inspiration here. Hopefully you'll use the resources in Meditation for Your Life to help with your practice.